Hi folks. So in this discussion, we'll just try to now understand. Imagine the flow now. Okay. You have hired as a data scientist. Understand this key connectors. Okay. It's your first day, right? It is your first day in particular X company you are joining. Okay. And vice president of networking is vice president. Okay. Now vice president of that particular organization, he is a vice president of networking. Of that company, he is a vice president of networking. Okay. He is full of questions. Okay. He is having a full of questions. Okay. He is full of questions. He is having a doubts. Okay. Until now he had no one to ask. Okay. Until now no one was there to ask like this actually. So he is very excited to aboard you. Okay. To welcoming you. Understand like that. Aboarding you is nothing but to welcoming you. Okay. Now he is telling me, it's okay, you have joined our organization, I have certain questions for you. Okay. That I want you to identify. Welcoming you. Okay. All right. So this is a particular sense now. In real life, okay, in particular, he wants to identify who the key connectors are among the data scientists. Who the key connectors are the data scientist. He is one telling. Okay. To this end, he gives you a dump of entire data scientist network. In real life, people don't typically hand you a data you need, right? So understand the data, however you like, the data will be not coming like that format. Okay. Understand the data science perspective now. What does this data dump will look like? Understand, we will take an example, we'll tackle the problem, how we will be going to solve. Understand, I will be going to put into the shoes that you are a data scientist. Okay, how you will be thinking of that way, right? So that is my overall perspective to discuss this overall series of the videos. Okay, understand this perspective now. Okay, we'll just try to understand that now. Okay. There is a like we'll understand that there is a ID. Okay, like understand now. It consisting of, okay, it is a list of users, each represent a dictionary that contains the user, okay, which contains the user, his or her ID, which is a number, and the name, which is one of the great cosmic coincidence times, the user's ID. Understand this. So with this data, you understood that there is a dictionary, right? So there are a list of users. See, this is a user. Understand? There is a list of user. Inside there is a dictionary with the ID and with the cosmic name, right? So that means that we have the ID here, ID over here as a key, right? Whenever we are talking about the dictionary, the key value pairs it will be going to store. That your fundamentals should has to be clear here. Okay, so we are going to discuss here from the scratch about the data science fundamentals. Okay, we are not talking about the Python programming language over here. Okay, so now here understand, here we are talking about the name now, right? Here name as a key and the rhymes of that particular sense. Now that is a hero. Like that ways you will be continuing some of the data now. Okay, 3 or 4 datas will be available. That this is some of the rhymes name basically. Okay, understand, this thing is clear, right? So this you will get a clear understanding. Like that ways we'll be having a 9 IDs. Okay, 9 IDs means 10 users list will be having. So what I'll be going to do, I'll just trying to write like this. Okay, understand that for the one form the data is something like this and something like this. Now you want to pair that. Now understand the flow now. So he also gives you the friendship data now, right, with which the list of the pairs now. Okay, understand the flow now. This is, you have understood that there are the 10 cosmic rhymes, okay, with the ID and the name of the ID. Okay, so we'll just take the flow now. Okay, relationship now. So now VP has given the relationship for you. So how he has given the relationship, we'll just try to understand now. Okay, one thing you will understand, there is 0 1, one relationship he has given, 0 2 and 1 2. Okay, 1 3 2 3 2 3 3 4. Okay, four 5 5 6 5 7 7 8 and 8 9. For the tuple 0 and 1 indicates the data scientist, indicates that a data scientist with the ID 0 is a hero and data scientist with the ID 1 is done, are friends. Okay, the network is, now if you want to do that, see, understand here now. See, if I want to go into match here, 0 1, this is 2, this is 3. Okay, now according to that, 0 is the 0 to 1, right, one graph I will be going to make. 0 to 2 I will be going to mark a one graph. Now 1 to 2 is also one graph, right, 1 to 2 is also one, and 1 to 3 is also one graph. 2 to 3, right. Now we have to make like this. Now this is done now. 3 to 4 now, right. So what I will be going to make, there is a 3 to 4 1 point and 4 to 5 is 1 point. So I will just trying to make like this. See, so whatever the data is there, according to that I am going to illustrate it like graphically now. 5 is there, right, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. Now we'll just trying to divide this like this, 5 to 6. Right, the next point is what, 5 to 7, right, this is a point. So how it will be going to make 5 to 7, it will be something points like this, and 7 to 8, and it will be going to something like this, 7 to 8, right, 7 to 8, and some points I guess is missing, right, 6 to 8 is there, one point I have missed. Okay, 6 to 8 is one of the points. Okay, 6 to 8 is there, one of the points, and one point is 8 to 9. So I am just writing in the next page, folks. Why? Because I am not having that much space over here. I will just write it here, that will be fine, right. So what I will do is 8 to 9. Okay, so this is a points actually according to the relationship the VP has given to us actually. So now since we represented our users as dictionary, it's easy to argument with the extra data, right. So for example, understand the flow now. For example, we might want to add the list of friends to each users, right. Understand. Now our understanding here is, what first we have represented when the dictionary of the list of users in the represented in the dictionary. Now we want to set that each friend's property to an empty list. So how will be going to do? Understand the flow. Now you have to figure out what if I want the list of users to be an empty. See here, we might want to add the list of the friends to the each users. First we set the friends property to an empty list. Okay, one by one elements we have to add into that particular list. First step number one, what our approach will be? We have to create an empty list, right? So what I'll be going to do, iterating for user in users, for users in users. Okay, for this user in this users means that particular list. So what we have to do, we have to create a separate user of that particular friend. So mapping, see previously what we have discussed. Okay, so what we have discussed, user of this friend, we are telling that. Okay, understand the flow here. User of this, what is the associated friend of that actually? So we are trying to do that actually. So we are creating that empty list here, over here. Okay, user of that friend will be what? Friends. User of that friends will be an empty list. Understood, right? So this is our approach basically. Okay, what, like, it is not a standard convention, folks. How you can think about it, like what we did from the previous discussion. We are doing the set of discussion over here is basically what we are doing. We are trying to make a particular use case, then we are trying to understand the flow now. Okay, so you have understood, right? This is the ideology now here. So now then we have to populate the list now, right? And then what will be going to do, then we will be going to populate the list. Will populate the list. Populate the list is nothing but what? We have to add the elements over here, folks. Let me very clear, folks. If you have not gone through the fundamentals of the Python, then please go and watch to my video or any of the videos in the YouTube, then come back and see this series of videos. You will understand, try to understand very clearly, very clearly about it. Okay, we have to populate the list here, understand. So here there is a group of the networks, right? So first for the column, first for the row, and first for the column, like ing for anything, we have to populate that, right? So for what, for that particular sense, what I am telling that for each particular graph, who are the friends? Okay, friendships. What are the friendships over there? So that we are trying to tell that, okay, of users of that particular friends should added to a users empty list. Okay, understood. Add I as a friend of J. Okay, understand, he is a friend of this particular graph, and he is a friend of this particular graph. Understand this. He is a friend of this particular graph, he is friend of this particular graph, he is friend of this particular graph. This is particular way you will be trying to write. Now if you just see here, this particular will be separate index, right? So we have to add that into a list itself. So what I will be going to do, for ing in users, in ing in friendships, okay, then I will be adding users of that particular friends dot append of users of J. Okay, users of J, that particular friend. So that with that row will be equal of that column, right? So I will just trying to write that particular friends. Okay, dot append is one of the functions, folks, to add the any items into a given list. Okay, so this is a one particular workflow, user of J. So I will just trying to write like this. So you can just write another that user of J may can consisting of he may friend of this guy, right? Something understand like that. So what we have done, once each user dictionary contains a list of friends, we can easily ask the question of our graph, what's an average number of connections, right? What is the average number of connections? What is the average number of connections over here? So we have started our discussion with the question itself, right? From the introduction, now onwards we are starting with the question itself. Like what is the average number of question of our graph, right? So that is a particular question we have asking from the rest of the parts, right? So then we just divide the number of users. So how many number of connection is there? So if you want to do that, so how we will be going to perform? Like average connections, average connection will be total connection by number of users. Total connections by number of users. Total connection is how much and how many number of users are available, right? That is only our category, that will only will be going to estimation about it. Now let's say there are very many users, we cannot sort them for most friends to a list friends, okay? So what will be going to do? Now what will be going to do is, see, thing is, we'll just try to take one list, okay? We will be storing the list of tuple, okay, user of ID and number of friends are available for that particular user. Will iterate it. Okay, understand? So what we'll be going to use is ternary operator over here. So what if this particular task has been done, okay, this is action, then this particular condition is available, okay, this will be a value and this will be condition, this will be of a basic user ID. So we have tell that this basically we are creating a list based upon the user ID and the number of friends of that particular user, okay, understood? So we are iterating that one by one. Now next thing what we can do is, we can just use a sorted method, okay, understand? We'll just tell that number of friends by ID and we'll just tell that the lambda function, okay, so user ID and number of friends. So for that particular condition it will be going to sort it for that one sense. One way to think we have done, okay, as a way of identifying people who are somehow central to the network. Understand what, how much connection we are going to do, this we have discussed now, right? Thinking of the solving a problem I am discussing, folks, okay, like I am not discussing each and every code in the detail depth. As we go further you will understand what I am trying to giving you a perspective to understand the question, okay. One way to think is, let's say, understand there are so many of networks, okay, we want to sort the like who are the users, we can sort them from most friends to the least friends, okay, we have to sort that. You have understood. Now think about it, So one thing is, what I am telling is, one thing is you have to create a list like this, number of friends by ID, okay, this is I am giving a name actually, not a variable name. Here I am giving a variable name and I am just giving here a list of tuple here of that user of ID, okay, user of ID here, understand this, and you have to just use this like this, in double quotes you can just write it ID and the number of friends of that particular user, number of friends of that particular user, friend of that user. Okay, then for user in users. Okay, for user in users, if you just try to do that, so you will be going to retrieve it. So this is a one way, right? For now, another way is like sorting the number of based upon the ID. Okay, so that like these things you will be going to understand now, right? So data scientist, you may know, right, where while you are filling out new hire paperwork of VP of factorization comes by your desk. She wants to encourage members connection among your members. She asks you to design, you may know, suggester, friend in user of friends for each user friends, and friend of friends in friend of friend in friend of friends. Okay, means referral, you can just think of that actually. Okay, nothing apart from that. Based upon the IDs, we are just filtering it out, nothing apart from that. Now this particular things, now VP comes to your post that you are going to the lunch now, right? Now it is a time to go for the lunch. Okay, your done has been done, right now you are head to lunch. Then VP of that organization calls you. Okay, VP comes to you of the public relations, ask you if you can provide some fun facts. How much data scientists earn? How much the data scientist earn? Okay, he is asking for you. So salary data is of course sensitive, right? But he manages to provide a anonymous data set containing the each user salary in dollars. So tenure as a data scientist in years. Okay, so what you will be going to think, okay, your perspective thinking is what? It will be little bit different, right? Salary and tenures, you will be just trying to, in your mind you will be thinking something related to this, right? In the list there are certain numbers. If I want to think about, if he is having a 8.7 of years of experience, something he can have 83,000, 8.7, something like related to that. And tenure, how much tenure he is having, if like how much years of experience. If he is having a years of experience 48,000, if he is having a years of experience 1.9, so you will be giving us something related to that, right? So naturally the first step is to plot the data. So what is, of course, if you give this particular kind of a programmatic thing perspective, will be not able to understand, right? So natural first step will be what for our thing to explain the non-data scientist, right? First step will be to plot the data. We have to plot the data, and we have to give them particular visualization things for them, like for this particular years of experience we will be trying to plot that, right? So what we'll be going to do, we'll just trying to plot like this years of experience, this particular salary should you will be having for this tenure. Years of experience is nothing but, if he is having that much years of experience in that domain, you will be having this much of salary, right? So if you are having 0 to, let's say 0 to something relevant to 2 years of experience, if is having ranging from this, okay, so what you will be going to tell that something around to be $4,000 to $4,800 he will be earning per year, right? So it's very clear from this particular data that more the years of experience, you will be tend to earn more. How can you turn this into a fact? Okay, how turn that into the first fact? So your idea is first to average the look of the salary for each tenure, right? Salary by tenure. So you will be going to, how you will be going to do? Think it, folks. If you, how you will be going to think? Now first my question is, thinking is very important over here, folks. So for my perspective here, I will be giving you an assignment for this. Comment down in the comment section what you will be thinking. It is related to if you have gone through the programming perspective. I will just give you a clue, okay, so you can just have a think of it, okay. Now it is clear. So now here keys are years, understand. Now I am giving a Q. Keys are the years, right? The values are the list of the salary for each tenure. Lists of salaries, list of salaries for the each tenure, right? So now you have to figure out, now you have to take the salary, okay, and tenure. In the salaries and the tenures, a particular variable that we have taken. Now you have to store that if it is a tenure as a key, then what will be the sum of the salaries around the period of time, around the period of tenure of that particular tenure, or if he is having a more years of experience, what will be the salary? Okay, you have to append that into a list actually. So that is about this video, folks. That's it. So in the next video we'll just try to focus on new ideology, so that you will understand it clearly, the data science perspective.